Happy holidays and happy Christmas everyone. We are back in Backpack Battles and I hope you're all having a fantastic time. But as always, we're jumping back into some ranked games with a random character. And it looks like we're just straight up playing the Reaper today with our storage coffin. So with a storage coffin, we're going to have a chance to inflict poison for each item activation inside. So we're going to stack up as much items as possible in each little slot. So our start weapon is going to be this wooden sword, that's for sure. We probably want to craft up a hero sword. We probably do want to grab some food items. We might want to grab ourselves a set of blueberries. Blueberries is going to be fantastic later on, but maybe not as good right now. I'm still going to take it though. And I'm going to take our big old banana. But I do want to roll. Or should we just take this little walrus tusk? Because if we roll, we won't be able to afford anything either way unless we sell our little topazes. But this is genuinely not the best play. Let's go ahead and grab it. Let's roll once. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get a second weapon, which is not ideal. So this is going to be round one. We might have a high chance to lose because we've only got one weapon, but we're going to see can we win out. And we did want to put all items inside our storage coffin, even start a battle effect, because we can get that little bit of poison and we'll chip down our opponents. However, we do got a ranger with a helper, which will cleanse all that poison and also give them the advantage with some heals. And yeah, they're just going to barely outpace us because there's one helper. Hold on a second. That one miss made us lose. Holy moly. That was super unfortunate, but it is what it is. Kind of expected to lose either way. We got ourselves a big old broom, which we are going to be taking for sure. Now, I'm also very tempted to go ahead and grab this. What's it going to be? Ammo Wiles, making our spikes deal a little bit more damage, which is kind of nice actually. Maybe you want to go for spike stacking type builds. Do you want to grab the deck of cards? You know, I do like the deck of cards quite a bit. We're going to reserve this for the storage. Let's go ahead and take it. And we're going to speed up our broom just a little bit. But for now, let's move on. So now our broom's going to attack 15% faster. It is going to use up a little bit more of our stamina, but with our hero sword crafted up, it's not going to be as much stamina consumption as too much. We should be able to inflict our blinds, a bit of poison, and it's looking so much better. And hell yeah, we do absolutely destroy that maze. Mage. Maze? Mage. Now, I kind of wanted to go for a cold stacking build today. That would be very thematic for the holidays. However, when we get offered hearted cards, I mean, I don't get this freaking skill. I can't remember last time I got this freaking skill. So I'm going to be taking hearted cards today. So every card reveal is going to give us 3 regen. If the card is positioned at 3 or higher, also gain a crazy absurd amount of mana. We want to be going for a bunch of regen stacking. When I say regen stacking, I probably want to go for a bunch of vampiric blades, because they actually use up our regen. But then with mana, we want to maybe go for big mana with bombs, maybe grab invulnerability with King's Crowns, instead of going for a mana type build. Do we want to grab more regen then? We're going to have lots and lots of regen. I'm going to take it. We roll again. We could go for Claws Attack. Yeah, we're going to take this and we're going to go for Claws Attack. Not Falcon Blade, Claws Attack. We also really do want to grab our Lover's card because that will give us our regen. Helmet on Silver 4? Yeah, we're going to take that. Give us time to get our cards online. But with the deck of cards, we do start off with 2 luck, giving us 100% accuracy and 100% accuracy, guaranteeing that we're going to be hitting and no more misses like that first round. However, this Ranger's putting up, honestly, a good fight, but not too bad for us. Claws Attack is going to be really awesome for us. However, that is pop. We could take hearted cards pop. So once we stack up infinite mana by having an infinite chain of cards, pop is going to be really nice to add in. Let's grab a bit of storage for now though. Let's go ahead and grab this too. And we're going to be grabbing our helmet and we're going to take pop in the next round. The question is, are we going to be able to support all these weapons with our stamina? With our topaz, base stamina regen is going to go up just a little bit. You're going to be low stamina cost, 0.8 in total, 1.5. Yeah, I do think we should be in a pretty decent spot to be able to move on with this. However, we are facing a Reaper. Rock and dig deeper. They're going to have a ton of fun digging up a lot of items. We have 7 regen. 7 regen this early is kind of absurd. And not bad. With our spikes, we do speed up our little Claws Attack. And we could grab even more regen. Let's just grab pop. We grab pop, we roll once. We definitely take this. The second Ammo Wiles. Holy moly. We're definitely going to be in for a fun run for our spikes. They're going to be doing a ton of damage. I'm also tempted to take out our broom for now and have in our pop, because we can trigger pop multiple times at 5 seconds. I think that's going to be our game plan. With Ammo Wiles, pop is going to trigger really Well, I'm going to say really fast, but just triggers twice in 5 seconds. So he's going to do one multi-attack right now. Deal quite a bit of damage. However, we should have kept in our broom. We do end up losing our life. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and take this for now. Let's roll. It's a dead side if we want it. Don't necessarily really want it. We want our Lover's card. We also want this too. We want to roll again. Now, do we want the Toad? I'm not sure if we really do want the Toad. Let's roll once more. Okay, in Practical Arts Greatsword, we could transform all this regen into Empower. We also got ourselves another card, the Ace of Spades, which will gives 2 luck and 2 spikes, and our next hit is a critical. Yeah, we definitely want to take it. We also want to grab our free monies as well, because we can just let this recombobulate itself. But let's see if we're going to be able to win this one out. Maybe we should have put in our broom again. We could have definitely placed it in, yeah. Because with all our weapons, it's not going to eat up too much stamina. We are facing a shield though, which will eat up a lot more of our stamina. We got a decent bit more regen. But is it going to be able to win out for us? Right now? Definitely not. Just falling short quite a bit. Although we could still go for a snow stick type situation. Let's grab all this. And a bit of storage. We roll once. And that's another card which I do kind of want to grab also. We are after bleeding a lot of lives, so we could be in trouble. But adding in our broom, we should be in a much better spot. We should be able to get even more luck, more regen, and maybe get some regen for our pop to pop off. But we do need to get some sort of scaling damage, some empower. So our heart containers, I should say, is going to give us some empower. And this is looking so much better than last round for sure. So having this broom in definitely was the play. We do get a life back, which is going to be awesome. But the next question is, what the hell are we going to go for? Do we want to go infinitely stacking with our Mr. Struggles? I actually really like Nocturnal Locklifter here, especially since I'm going to be going for the vampiric angle. Yeah, I'm going to take Nocturnal Locklifter. We also have a ton of weapons, which adding all lifesteal to all these is going to be phenomenal. Let's take these reverse cards. Let's roll again. Let's take a bit of storage, and we could add in a Staff of Unhealing. Or again, we could just go for big mana buff bombs. One thing for sure is we're taking this mana orb. It really wants us to take our wonky snowmans, and that is the Staff of Unhealing Vampiric Blade. You know, I convinced myself we're going Staff of Unhealing. We do need to craft this up. Maybe we want to get rid of Hero Sword right now. Well, one thing for sure is we're selling this, and our lump of coal, and we're taking this storage. We kind of want to add this back in because that's going to get lifesteal in this spot. But our mana orb in this position might not be the best. We can also slightly move this down and then have this back in here, and that is looking a lot better for us. Tons and tons of lifesteal is going to be awesome. But let's move on. Let's move on. We should have a big power spike with Nocturnal Locklifter. It's going to give us tons and tons of heals, and especially on a super fast pop as well. So as long as our opponent doesn't stack up infinite blinds, we should just be able to lifesteal like crazy, and especially with all our freaking weapons, we should be able to just lifesteal for days. A lot of cold on us though. That cold is stacking up, giving them crits, but we're still at full HP, and we got tons and tons of buffs as well. And since we have so much mana, we're going to be stacking up our luck, and hell yeah, not bad. Definitely not bad. Now, stacking up bunches of Hellfire Lizard increase our effect damage, which is going to be our healing damage, and it's going to be our pop damage. It's also going to speed up our weapons like crazy. But we do want to grab you. We're going to sell this little sword. We're going to take you, and we really do want this Hellfire Lizard more than anything. This also increased our healing efficiency, so this is definitely worth keeping in also. The only thing is, we do want to place our Hunger Blade to this side, which means we kind of need this in here for this round, which means we might lose our Lover's card for now. Not ideal, but it is what it is. We could also sell it to go ahead and grab ourselves our Hellfire Lizard. I also really like these reverse cards because they do reflect some debuffs, and they also steal 3 debuffs. That should be fantastic. Also, stamina is going to be a bit more of a concern. Maybe we do need this out, because we got rid of our little hero sword, but it is what it is. Now, our opponent does have a lot of cold on us. They're going to be stacking up tons and tons of cold on us. We don't necessarily really deal with debuffs. Maybe should have taken a Divine Pot. But it is what it is. We're going to be dealing massive damage, and we're going to be life stealing still. With multiple weapons, not bad. And we're going to be getting a Unhealing our Staff of Unhealing, which means we're not going to be able to lifesteal with this, but every bit of lifesteal is going to be dealt as damage, which is going to be fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, that is also False Life, which will give us a ton of max health if you overheal like crazy. Yeah, I'm going to take that in a heartbeat. In a freaking heartbeat. Let's go ahead and grab this too. Let's grab a Hollow for Lizard. Do we want to grab ourselves a White Blue Dragon? Which means we take a lot less effect damage, making us tankier. We kind of have to be choosy with our cards because we might be able to get a lot of cards, but it's not going to be infinite. They do have a timer. So realistically, I'm not going to take it. However, I do want to grab this Corrupted Crystal. We could also go for a Ruby Chunk. Ruby Chunk could be nice to add in as a little bit more life, but it's a lot of gold. Yeah, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to just Ventron once again. Just going to Ventron. We want to grab as much vampiric items as well so we get more and more lifesteal, so our weapons deal a lot more damage. But since we're going to get mana from the cards, we should be able to deal our unhealing damage. Our opponent does have an insane amount of healing reduction on us, and unfortunately, yeah, that does manage to beat us out. We do need to increase your healing by quite a bit. Although, that is a hard consider. It's also Hollow for Lizard. Want to grab the hard consider? I'm not sure yet. We do want to grab this though. We want to roll again. And we could just go for Prismatic Sword. I'm not sure if we do want to go for Prismatic Sword, but what we do want to do is grab a Prismatic Orb anyway. Paradise Barb could be kind of nice, but at the same time, it will increase your healing on our items. But I'm not sure if we really want that as much. Yeah, I'm just going to take our Prismatic Orb. We just want to increase your healing. We want to get more lifesteal on our weapons. We want to get our mana from the rip as well. We can get our Unhealing from the get-go, so we can deal massive damage. And our damage is insane once we get Unhealing. Problem is, we need to get it online. And another freaking Amid of Wild. Holy moly, that's kind of insane. Well, we're going to be taking this. We're going to be taking it. We're going to be slotting it in this position, which might not be the most ideal. Holy moly, what the hell did I do with my cards? That's much better. So we do need to start off with at least 4 mana. With 4 mana, we should be able to trigger on healing from the get-go, which should be smashing for us. We also want to grab this so we get more lifesteal on our weapons. We do need to grab this too. We do want to place our banana back in too. Yeah, let's get going once again. We should be able to start off with our mana, get our Unhealing from the get-go, and by the time our cards pop off again, we should be able to get our mana once again. We should be able to deal lots of our Unhealing as damage, lots of lifesteal. We should maybe be able to lifesteal or overheal, stack up our max life, depending on if we get absolutely turbo smash at the beginning. But not bad, taking on that double axe berserker. Hell yeah. Now I'm looking at this box of riches and I'm thinking big red rubies to increase your healing. So I'm going to take it along with our lifesteal. We're going to roll once, and we definitely need to store it. So I'm going to sell this card and a stone, and we're going to take this. Now this doesn't actually need to be near the Nocturnal Lock Lifter, but if you do place it up there, it's a little bit faster for us. However, down here we get a little bit more vampires, we get our mana, we inflict some debuffs. Yeah, I'm going to keep it this way. But we'll see how we get on with this. We are facing Dagger Rings who are going to be stealing all our buffs. As long as they don't steal our mana, we should be in a pretty good spot to be able to win it. They stole all our mana. They literally stole all our mana from the get-go. That was insane. But we got it right now, and we should be able to deal some big old damage. And smashers. Definitely smashers. On a healing pop. Definitely did not expect it. Now, here we go. That's our Glowing Crown. We are going to take it. Let's go and grab it. Let's also grab this too. And the problem is, we need this red ruby. So we're going to sell our little bit of regen from the get-go, and we definitely want to be crafting these up. Each one of these is going to be more healing efficiency. And that's one thing we are lacking quite a bit. There's tons and tons of healing efficiency, so our Unhealing does more and more damage. And keeps us healthy with our multi-attacking weapons. However, our opponent did massive damage, bringing us down to 1 HP. That's definitely not what I expected, if I'm going to be honest. Now, I would like to go for big old blood turn since we have so much spikes. It will be crazy stamina. Are we still going to go for it? I'm going to take it. I'd love to go for crazy amounts of Hunger Blades. But I'm going to chance my arm a little bit. And go for a Bloodthorn. We're going to keep rolling though. Looking for any red rubies that we can find. We keep going. We might get rid of our Claws attack. Let's also add this in so we can steal some buffs. Yeah, I'm going to sell this guy. Now, this card is actually going to be phenomenal for us. Giving us a crazy sort of mana. Giving us our vulnerability. I do want to grab that too. But we're going to have to take it next round. But we're going to risk it. We're going to move on with this. We're going to be crafting up a Bloodthorn. We are facing a crazy pet build with a very long spear and a turtle. And it's a steel, so they're going to get loads and loads of power. But can we beat them out with this turtle? We're going to have lots and lots of damage reduction at the beginning. We get invulnerability. And it's looking much, much better for us. Yeah, definitely so. With our spikes, we're going to be taking a lot of damage. But they are bringing it back just a little bit. We could actually lose this right now. Who am I kidding? We're definitely going to win it. We did survive 1 life left. Let's go and see just how much DPS we've managed to get within this time limit. So we have a 60 DPS being our Unhealing damage, doing a large majority of it, with our spikes doing a crazy amount. Then our Hunger Blade, then Pop, Hollow Fire Lizards, Thorn Whips. Not bad. In terms of heals, 50 healing per second. From our staff Unhealing, with our Vampirism and Nocturnal Lock Lifter. In terms of max life gains, it's all over heal from our false life. So we've got to be careful with that. In terms of block, 15 block. Also, what's our opponent's DPS? Ended up being about 36 DPS from this crazy pet build. Very long spear with pets. Actually a very, very nice idea. We ended up taking a lot more damage, but we did manage to just heal our way to victory. But we're going to get a Bloodthorn. I do think we can actually make this a lot crazier. Potentially. Especially now that we got ourselves another Prismatic Orb. Along with our Heart Container, which I do want to grab too, but I'm also thinking about this Dark Lotus. Coconuts. Well, there is also this that we do want to grab a Heart Container, but filling up a Heart Container will give us even more healing efficiency. We also really do need this. More than the Dark Lotus in my opinion. But this is also going to be fantastic. Increase your healing efficiency even more. It's exactly what we want. And we're going to have to sell these 2 little tiny gemstones and grab a Heart Container for now. The problem is, where the frick are we going to fit this in? I mean, ideally it would be awesome here because then we get a ton of healing efficiency on both items. Although, this would be better in here if we're going to be honest. Because then we get even more mana on both our prismatic ones, our orbs. And then we can just neatly put a deck of cards in this side, which actually looks a lot better for us. But yeah, we should be able to fill up our Heart Container, giving us a ton of max life, also increasing our healing efficiency. And yeah, this is going to be really freaking awesome. And our opponent does have a Doom Cap to try and reduce our healing. Now, we have so much mana that we do get invulnerability off the get-go, which means we're not going to be bursted down immediately, allowing us to overheal like crazy, which is awesome. However, that's a crazy absurd amount of poison on us. But is it going to matter too much? Our healing is literally dipping down into the negatives. We do get a vulnerability at the perfect time. We might lose this because our healing is completely shut off. And with all this poison, they're going to slowly whittle us down. And our unhealing damage has been negated. This is literally a crazy counter to us, which is madness. They literally shut off our healing, which is super unfortunate. But what else could we do? There's not much we could have done in that situation. Unless we just bursted down our opponents with multiple Hunger Blades, which is kind of what I wanted to do. Now, let's grab our Dark Lettuce. I'm going to roll. That's a second Glowing Crown and even more invulnerability. Now, we do want to craft this up because this will give us a hell of a lot more healing efficiency, which is going to be pretty darn sweet for us. But yeah, let's go ahead and grab ourselves another blueberry. Holy moly, didn't actually realize that we could craft up to that list by using two blueberries and a Dark Lotus. That's kind of insane actually. Do we want to craft it up? I'm not sure if I do. I kind of like keeping it the way this is because this will remove a bunch of random buffs from our opponents, especially that we have 6 cards before. That's going to be 18 buffs removed from them. And then absurd amounts of mana. Yeah, we're going to be rocking on with this. We're going to get our King's Crown crafted up. And we should be able to get a hell of a lot more healing efficiency. 83% healing efficiency, which means we should be able to overheal like crazy and deal a ton of damage with our weapons too. But our cards are slowly stacking up. It's a lot of cold on us. We actually will never get to the end of the chain with the sheer amount of cold on us. And we do manage to win out. Not bad. Let's get our King's Crown online. And let's go ahead and increase your healing efficiency for days. And let's go ahead and grab this with our tiny bit of storage too. And let's roll once more. Now, Mana Orb is going to be phenomenal. Is there any way that we can actually grab it? I mean, if we sell our little tiny gemstones, all 3 of these, we can take it. and we're going to slightly place it down below. So we should be able to get a big mana buff bomb if we do manage to reach the end of our chain. But that's if we manage to reach the end of our chain. But triple Amundsen Wild to make all our spikes deal tons and tons of damage to an unhealing pop type situation. Let's slow it down. We are facing a Wolf Pack, Bloodthorn, which is going to have 70% crit chance, but they're not going to have crit chance on their Hunger Blade. But they are going to stack up a lot of buffs, a lot of heat. They're going to be going fast. They're going to be getting lots of max life. We do have 133% healing amplification, and we should be able to overheal for days with all this invulnerability. Giving us time to just overheal and deal massive, massive damage. And no way is this as close as that one build that literally should overheals. Hell yeah. And we actually ended up with about 100 DPS, much, much better. On healing, doing a crazy absurd amount. The sheer amounts of healing amplification that we did end up having just increased that damage out of wazoo. But in terms of heals, we did manage to get about 91 healing per second. And on top of that, we did manage about 100 max life gains, all from our max life stacking from our false life. We also didn't reach the end of our chain. Like I said, we have a finite amount. We did end up surviving 1 life left. Allows going to see just how much rank points we managed to get, +6. Ranking this up just a little bit in Masters. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribing. And I hope to give a look up for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're going to jump back into some round 18 fights and seeing how this build can actually pair out against some other builds. Again, the invulnerability to start is insane. And we should be able to get our healing efficiency up just a tiny bit. We do more on healing damage with our Hollow Fire Lizards. We get a little bit more heats, and that's a lot of freaking poison on us. And a vulnerability on 2 opponents. But once your vulnerability does end, we start dealing massive damage. It's not going to be close after that. And can we take on a Prismatic Sword Ranger? With Icon Battle Ray, with Easter's Leaf, they're going to have mana for days. They're going to be lamping it, trying to get a bunch of damage on it. And they're going to be scaling up some max life for the investment opportunity. But this is the battle of the vulnerabilities once again. But once your vulnerability does end, hell yeah. And finally, can we deal with a Flame of Dragon type situation? Lots of poison to be inflicted, lots of buffs to be generated, lots of random buffs to be taken. However, again, it's not going to be close whatsoever.